Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Another quick game of interplanetary I Spy going on here. Back to Mars, back to Gale Crater, and we are back to Mount Sharp, or Aeolis Mons as it's officially called. And this is the main image we're going to be looking at today. This is going to be a real quick one, okay? I'll try and keep this around the 10-minute mark if I can. This is the main image. There's also another image as well next to this one, and what I've been doing, I've found this new program which is from Microsoft called Image Composite Editor, which is really cool, and I'll show you that in a minute, but let me show you the clips first. May as well crack straight into it. Links will be below as usual for this image and any others, and there will be at the end of the video some close-ups, and also right at the end some cards you can click on to look at similar things on Mount Sharp. There would be like pyramids and the Forbidden City and other domes and the structures, okay? So you can compare them back to back, okay? So here we have it. Now, let's have a look at the raw image first. Now, the raw image is very hard to look at because it has this grid on it. But if you kind of get it at the right level, it kind of disappears. But when you go in close, it gets really hard to look at. But from that distance, you can see there is a nice dome on top of this mountain, okay? Now this is quite a long way off. This is probably about 3 kilometers away, and this is about 1 kilometer up from here to here. So that's a long way off. But the camera has zoomed right in. I do wonder whether people from JPL or NASA who were in control of the rover have actually listened to some of my requests, because in a couple of videos recently, which you may remember me saying, I kind of asked them if they would give us some nice juicy close-ups of Mount Sharp and some of the structures on it. And they seem to have done it. Now, is that a coincidence? I don't know. If it is, great. If not, wow. But yeah, never mind. There's no way of proving it either way. They may have taken them anyway already, and the images could have been being processed for the last month or two anyway, so who knows. But they have been giving us some close-ups, and this is one of them. Not as close as I'd like, but it's better than we've had before of this dome, which you can see here, okay? So now to get rid of this, you have to blur the image using a Gaussian blur with a radius of 1 or 1.1 or 1.2 or 0.9, something like that. Depends on your graphic software and how powerful it is and stuff like that. So I got that image and I removed the grid. There it is. I removed the grid off it and increased the contrast quite a lot on this. And the brightness, so contrast up, brightness up as well, probably by about 25% or more, I think, on here. 25%, yeah, probably, and that's what you get. It's a pretty grungy image. It's not terrible. It's not really in focus, but it's clear enough to see this dome with a very nice pointed dome shape to it here, and some structures here, some square and rectangular parts to it, almost like an igloo. Imagine like a giant igloo. Now, size-wise, this is really big. Now, I would say this is something in the realms of 300 feet. I couldn't tell you exactly. It's probably 300 or 400 foot wide, and 2.5 to 3.5 foot high. Don't know. But that's based on the measurements I've used on other videos and looking at similar sized dome structures on the mountain, because there are lots of them. Some of them are very large indeed. Some are 400 or 500 feet high, but most are around the 200 to 300 mark. So I would put this in the slightly smaller category. And it kind of looks a bit like an observatory. Now, I spent a bit of time on this image, and I've been having fun with this this program that I downloaded just last night, and this is great. This is free. This is totally free. This is called Image Composite Editor, and it's a Microsoft program. And It's free. You can look it up. I'll see if I can find the link for it, and actually I'll put that in the description for you if you want to check it out. But this is great because you can get these Mars images. You get the two raw images like we got here. Just put them straight in like this. And so you've got stage 1, okay, let's make that full size. Stitch, there we go, stitched it together straight away. How quick was that? Then you have a chance to crop it, like so, and then you can export it. Now I always export these as bitmaps, but you can use TIFF, that's the equivalent of a bitmap. A bitmap will have a higher resolution and will save every single pixel in the image. And then you can just save it to your desktop or wherever you want to export it to. Okay, so this is great. I mean, I haven't done any really large gigapans yet. I've done some with about 4 or 5 images, and it's so fast. It is absolutely amazing how fast this thing is. I used to do it by hand before and never quite get it to look quite right. And what this does, it kind of merges it together really carefully where the image joins here, and it's really hard to see the join. It's great, really good. So I'm having fun with that. So if you might want to try that. If you're into these Mars images, you may want to try this free Microsoft image stitch software. That was cool. But let's get back to the plan here. Let's stick to the script. Although I never use a script, as you could probably tell. So yeah, here's one of the pans I made here. Nice. You know, I've increased the contrast on it. There we have it. I think it's the one I just showed you a minute ago. And you got this other weird thing here. Now that looks a little bit more irregular and natural, but it may have been something that was built also, as well as this, and it may be ruined. But there's not really enough of that we can't really see enough of that to tell either way yet, because it's largely obscured by this mountain, the mountainside. So don't really know with that. I did do another enhancement of this. Now this, you can see why I downloaded that software now, the Microsoft image stitching software. This is my first attempt at a mini Gigapan here, and you can see the stitch mark here really quite prominently. And even though I've kind of blurred over it, it doesn't quite match up perfectly, and it's a bit mucky, a bit untidy. But what I did do with this image is I really darkened it a lot more. As you can see, it's much darker, and really pushed the contrast. And you can actually see some terraced steps here on the mountainside, which don't really show until you increase the contrast. So you can see those steps. I thought those were interesting. There's some very interesting pointed kind of boat-shaped things here, like just here and up here. But they're too vague to actually say either way whether they are. You do have a lot of buttes and butts, or whatever, buttes I think they're called, in this area, and a lot of them are kind of boat-shaped. And obviously these would erode down eventually over millions of years and stuff like that. But there are some actual boats in the area, as I've shown before. So there we have it. That was the really dark version. But the problem is when you do that, the picture starts to break up because I've really cranked it. And the sky is all kind of broken up here, and it's very choppy, but it does give you some detail here. You can see those blocks. You can see these blocks here. Get rid of that a minute. And it has not a dome, but a point to it. It's got an actual slight point to it there, which is very unusual and doesn't look natural at all to me. It may well turn out to be natural, but it really doesn't look it. And I know a lot of people out there are saying, "Oh, it's all just pareidolia." Well, no, it's not. This is a completely different colour to the surrounding rock, and it is much, much brighter, as you can see, even in the untreated clip. This is just the untreated clip. I'm going to go through and show you the enhancements as I did them, where I've added shadow and contrast. And of course when you do that, the image starts to break up. You can see it breaking up here. The contrast is pushing every little difference out more, but you can actually see the dome a lot better. and the shadows getting slightly darker. Now what I did, now I don't normally do this, but on this image the sky was so broken up, I thought what I would do is I would just clean all that up, because it's a large area of data. I just thought, well, it looks pretty terrible. So I went in and just cleaned it all up by going around this, which wasn't that hard to do. There we have it, okay? So that's been cleaned up considerably, but now it looks fake. It looks kind of fake, but it's much cleaner, and you can actually see the shape a lot better. Okay, let's go in a bit closer. And I sharpened it as well. And you can see these blocks here. Now those do not look natural, as if built by nature. These look totally artificial. Square blocks, clear square blocks, and square sections here, and a pointed dome. Really, really nice shape, with some darker parts to it there. Don't know what those are, but those are parts of the structure, obviously. Those shadows. Now, whether those are inlets or bits sticking out, I think those are probably inlets. But this may have actually fallen down. One or two of these blocks here may have actually gone in here. This may have been a perfect pointed dome before, like an observatory type shaped building or something. And these blocks may have been, this part may have been damaged and they may have fallen off and down by the side of it. I don't know, I'm just speculating there. Probably not, I mean, I don't know, but it could have been an earthquake or something. You can't get any more detail than that out of it. Even though the image is zoomed in, the raw image, it hasn't zoomed in enough for my liking. I'd like the camera to zoom in a lot further, but it zoomed in just enough to see these shapes. And I've given that a brown filter, orangey brown filter, just to make it look more Mars-like. I'll probably use this for the cover, put the title up here or something. But this is a really cool shape. I mean, I really cannot see how that can be natural. And anyone who says it does, I think, is delusional. And look at the difference in the actual luminosity between the rock that it's sat on and it. Completely different. It's a different material altogether. It's quarried. It must be made from quarried stone. It's highly reflective compared to the natural rock. Now, if they were going to quarry rock, they probably would have quarried it from somewhere very close by, but it's not the same as the mountain. Now, can anyone out there who's a geologist explain to me, let's look at that again, how such a thing would actually happen in nature? How would you get a dome like that, which is a completely different colour and luminosity and texture to the surroundings, on the a kilometre up the mountainside? How does that happen? Because I know of nothing in nature that can do that. How would it have deposited there for it to do that? It's absolutely insane. And anyone who, well, if you can come up with an explanation for that, any of you people out there who are geologists or anything, or study geology, I haven't. I know a few basics. I'm more into archaeology and art and stuff like that, you know. So if any of you can actually explain that to me, how this would naturally form on top of a mountain, between a kilometre and a mile up the side of a mountain, what process would do that? Go ahead, let's hear it. It's about time we started calling out some scientists on this, because a lot of scientists are obviously watching these videos and none of them are actually saying anything. And the ones that have been very negative and very patronising, and usually resort to personal attacks on me, calling me a retard or an idiot or something, and a lot worse, believe me, rather than addressing what's in the images. They never actually address the detail in the images. This is what trolls do, of course. But not all trolls are kids in basements. Some of them are actually professional people who deliberately try and put their narrative across and bully people into thinking one way or another. So who knows what they're up to. Probably too busy making chemical weapons or something. Yes. So that's my bit of science bashing out of the way. In fact, most scientists are fine, but I just think they don't have time to comment or do anything about this stuff. They're far too busy. But it kind of looks better in black and white, actually, I think. But yeah, I'll put all these clips in again at the end in a minute. That's already gone on too long. Thanks for watching, everybody. Do check out my channel if you haven't watched any of my recent videos. The car is going a bit crazy. People are going mental about the car. Abandoned car found on Mars. Not Elon Musk's Tesla, certainly not. It's a wrecked car. It doesn't look in great condition. But pay attention when you look at it to the wheel on the left. It has off-road tread. And in fact, I posted it on Facebook on various pages. This one isn't a great one, but it's had like 97 responses on here in just like a day, which is the most I've ever had on an image. But of course, even though most people have liked it, compared to laughed at it or whatever, a lot of the comments are very negative. Some of them are really funny, but some of these people are getting really aggressive about it, and I really do wonder what their game is here. This guy's calling me a delusional moron or something, and you know, it's insane. So, if you're a member of this site, aliens, UFOs, abductions in Area 51, come on here and give some positive comments. I mean, it's really odd how people, once you get a few negative comments, everyone just lays the boot in. And I mean, a lot of it's perfectly harmless. I don't mind that at all. But some of them are getting really quite nasty and aggressive. I do get that on my channel as well. And if they're abusive, then I do actually delete them or block them from my channel. Because if you leave like racist or abusive comments up on YouTube, you can actually get into trouble with YouTube for leaving them up. So you've got to be a bit careful with that. I only do that with abusive comments. I don't delete people that disagree with me at all. I'm quite happy for people to disagree. It's fine. But it's when they start resorting to calling you a retard and much nastier things than that. A moron and a retard and whatever, and accusing me of taking drugs or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. That's when it's getting abusive. That's when I tend to ban people. So there we have it. So if you see any of my posts on any various Facebook groups, give it the thumbs up or something, you know, because I'm getting a lot of stick for this. I knew I would with this find, the car. And in fact, I said it in the video, I did say I'm going to get crucified for it. And a lot of people are trying to verbally crucify me. But it does look like a car. It's got wheel arches in the right place. It's got a number plate. It's got a wheel with tread on it there. It's got the right shape to it. It's got reflective glass or metallic kind of luminosity to it as well. So, and there's the raw image. You can see it there, you know. It looks like a car. Terrible image. But also pay attention to the stuff in front of it as well. That looks like something here with a wheel here and something odd here. And I do show that in the video, so check it out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share on social media if you can. I will see you soon.